Genesis chapter 4 verse 1. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. When we think of Cain, we think of this disobedient child, murderer and killer who always wanted to do it his own way. But this was not what his parents thought of him in the beginning. When Cain was born, Eve exclaimed, I have gotten a man from the Lord. To understand this seeming contrast, we need to go back to Genesis 3:15, where God says to the serpent or the devil, And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. As the guilty Adam and Eve listened to these words, they were inspired with hope. For in the prophecy concerning the breaking of Satan's power, they also discerned a promise of God's deliverance from ruin that came through transgression and sin. The seed that shall bruise the head of Satan was the promised Messiah. And so when Eve had her first child, she hoped and thought that this would be the deliverer. For the promise said it would be of her own seed, that is, from her own genealogy. She believed it so much that even when Abel was born, his name was not that important. For you see, Cain means man from the Lord. Abel means vanity. Is it not so in our own lives? When we suppose that what we have and what we are doing is the answer, but really it's not really the answer. Our problems blind us so much that everything that provides some sort of relief we call the solution. We call the answer. But the answer to our problems is not Cain, neither is it Abel, but Jesus. Genesis chapter 3:15 is for us. We need it in the 21st century when the devil is working so much than at any other time in history. God promised to put in our hearts enmity against sin and to save us from the same. And God has always fulfilled his promise and prophecy. Even though Jesus was not physically present in the times of Cain, Abel, Adam, and Eve, he was there all the time. Jesus is the lamb slain from the foundation of the world. God instructed Adam and Eve to kill a lamb and give it as a sacrifice. This was to represent the death that Jesus will die for this world. They were to do this ever often until Jesus should come to seek and save that which was lost. After this manner, Cain and Abel were supposed to give their sacrifice for the forgiveness of their sins. The validity and supreme importance of this exercise is shown in the rejection of Cain's offering. Cain gave vegetables and fruits, where God had said to give a sacrifice of a lamb. By faith, Abel gave an excellent sacrifice than Cain's. Cain did not have faith in the power of the blood of Jesus to save him from sin. He wanted to do it his own way, to save himself. Today, we don't have to give sacrifices or sheep or lamb. Jesus paid it all. But like Adam and Eve, we don't have Jesus physically present here. And so we, by faith, need to look back at the cross and confidently say, it was finished. The head of the devil was crushed, and he does not have his poisonous power over us anymore. However, we can only access and take part in this victory if we have faith in Jesus. For you see, faith is the victory that overcomes the world. Thank you so much for joining us. See you tomorrow as we continue studying the Bible. Tomorrow will be Genesis chapter 5. See you then.